Hello everyone, welcome back to the Rustage Anime Cast featuring me, Daniel Rustage, Daniel Theodore Rustage. I'm joined with my editor and the man that I pay to be my friend, Evan, the editor.
You don't pay me enough for that, but you have a middle name? This is new to me.
I know, we've added more to the Rustage lore, but we also have a a special guest on. My good buddy, old pal, my good friend, Shwabadi.
Hey.
Hey, how are you doing today, Shwabadi?
Pretty good. I've known you for 5 years, and you've never discussed a middle name with me.
Oh, fuck. Well, it's a world premiere of Daniel Rustage's middle name.
Daniel
that
Theodore Rustage.
It's probably the first time my audience has heard my middle name.
Okay. I thought you were named after like your dad or something.
That's my brother. My brother's middle name is my dad's name. My brother's full middle name is Joshua Philip Rustage. And he lives... Please don't
dox my brother who lives at 192.
Shwabadi's real name is Mark, and I'm gonna be referring to him as Mark, unless because he's my friend. And it feels weird to just call him Shwabadi all the time. Mark, you have a new album out today.
I do. I have a brand new album. It's called The Life and Death of by Shwabadi, and it's out on Spotify and iTunes and wherever you get your music.
So everyone who's listening to this, go download his album, because it's pretty darn good. And
you fucking better.
And Olaf's on it.
He is. Olaf's on it. You're on it.
Oh yeah.
You're on like the second track.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Evan is not on it.
Evan's not on it because he has no musical ability or talent.
Yeah, that's
whatsoever.
true.
Oh,
That's fact.
It is fact. It just sounded mean.
When you say most factual things about Evan, they sound mean.
Okay, now that one's just...
That one was just mean.
It's just mean.
Anyway, this episode is about the worst anime tropes in anime. And it's just all of the things that tend to be... Well, you know what a trope is. Right, guys?
Actually, I was talking to my mum earlier, and I said, oh yeah, I'm doing a podcast episode with Rustage and Evan, and we're talking about tropes in anime, and she was like, what's a trope?
Oh.
So you might want to explain it for the young boys and girls out there.
What's the dictionary definition of a trope?
I described it to my mum as like a cliche.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, okay.
In television.
Yeah. It is like a reoccurring cliche or like motif that happens in a variety of different shows. And once we start talking about them, you'll know. Like, I think some generic tropes that maybe aren't things that people hate. I can't think of any. My mind went blank. Trying to think of just like tropes that are fine. Fuck it. The rival character, right? That's a trope, for example. That's a pretty standard trope. Yeah.
Stories taking place in high schools.
Yep, stuff like that. So should I start? Should I start with my first trope? My first trope that I despise. What I would say is my number one trope that I despise across anime. And anyone
I feel like it might be on. This might be the same as mine. Yeah. So go ahead.
If you've seen any of my any of these podcasts so far, you could probably predict it. My number one least favorite trope is the lovable pervert.
Yeah.
I say lovable. They're perverted characters that don't get. Characters like Meliodas or Jiraiya or Mineta.
All right, but some of them are actually
no. Okay, we are taking the character away from it, right? Jiraiya and
just the trope.
Meliodas and whatever, they can be fine characters apart from. We're take the trope out of it, dissect that part of the character.
Just toss it out.
Yeah, I dislike this part of characters, right? And I hate how in like multiple animes and stuff. A lot of authors seem to just create this perverted character just for the sake that they can make a bunch of perverted jokes about their female characters, but kind of use this one character as the scapegoat for that, right? And you see it so often in anime and shonen in particular. There's always one character. I mean, even in Bleach, the little fucking bear guy, I forgot his name.
Con?
Yeah, he was kind of like this. Right? to a lesser extent. But then you have characters like Mineta, which did you guys see one of the later episodes of My Hero Academia? Are you caught up with the episodes?
I think I'm up to date, yeah.
Remember when he went up to Eri, the 10-year-old girl, and said, "I can't wait to see what you look like in 8 years, or 10 years."
God. Oh, no.
Right? That's fucked up, dude. That's like over the line. And then obviously I've expressed how much I hate Meliodas and how he essentially sexually assaults Elizabeth, and everyone's like, "Oh, Meliodas."
Meliodas is like an exceptional case as well, because at the very least, what you can say about like the lovable pervert of Jiraiya, Mineta, Master Roshi, they get called out for it.
Yes.
Meliodas doesn't at all. It's absurd, but even though like characters like Roshi, Jiraiya, and Mineta get called out for it, it's almost like not as severe as it's still kind of played off. It's still played off as a joke. But and also they only tend to be called out by the person they're being perverted against, if you notice. Like
and then like no one else like really stands up for them.
Bulma and Tsunade are the ones that get annoyed at Jiraiya and Roshi. But like the other characters aren't like reprimanding them at all. They're just fine with it.
They're just like, oh you
Jiraiya, oh you Roshi. That's just Master Roshi.
Yeah, I mean, in the original Dragon Ball, when they first meet Master Roshi, Krillin and Goku, their first task from Roshi is to find him a girlfriend. So they literally kidnap a girl and bring them to his island.
It's so fucking... The original Dragon Ball has a lot of
like, what the fuck are you talking about? What is going on?
The original Dragon Ball has a lot of weird, like, shit that... like, even though it's a pretty good story... and I like it. I mean, I remember when you were reading through it and you were sending me like panels of stuff that was kind of like,
Yeah, that was twofold. Number one is, yes, like there are aspects of that in the story, but I was reading a really weird fan translation.
Oh, okay.
That took some homophobic creative liberties.
Okay.
Oh, gosh. Oh, no.
Yeah. I won't delve into the details, but yeah.
But yeah, I hate fucking how they seem to be a staple in every single like shonen show, or just quite in a lot of shows in general. I mean, even in like anime games, me and Autumn are playing AI Somnian Files, which is by Uchikoshi, same people who did 999 and stuff. And like there are characters in that who are just like perverts for no reason. They just make sex jokes constantly. And it's just it's the only bit of that game we don't like.
I feel like your trope is like calling me out.
Oh yeah, and the anime Rustage cast is an anime, and Evan is the lovable pervert trope. Except for people call him out on
except he's not lovable.
Yeah, except for he's not lovable at all. He's just a pervert, and people do call him out on it.
Can I move on to like my next one that kind of builds on that?
Yeah, well, is it the same one that I have in mind? I mean, go ahead.
Mine is... I was going to mention, like... It's a lot of things kind of that I've combined in one and just calling fan service.
Okay. Yeah, mine's slightly different.
Like, yeah, manga artists that just can't draw a girl without exposing 98% of her body.
Yeah.
Or giving her, like, perfectly round breasts.
One of my main problems of people who complain about it is they will say something along the lines of, oh, this character has an ability that requires them to not wear any clothes.
Oh my god,
it's the manga author who was the one who gave them that ability. That's not a justification.
It's not anime, but it's the same issue. Metal Gear Solid 5,
that's who I was thinking of.
That is the most atrocious example I've ever seen of just like, I fucking adore Hideo Kojima, but by God, he's just a perverted old man at this point. He's just like, no, she needs to get naked to breathe. She can't wear any clothes. God, what?
So, okay, I have a trope that's similar to the lovable pervert, and it's one thing that just annoys me, and you see this in a lot of shonen and in shoujo as well. Like, when a character like is like an accidental pervert, where they'll like open a door and a girl is like changing, and then the girl just fucking beats the shit out of him, and then everyone thinks he's a terrible person. And it's just such an overplayed joke and trope that I kind of hate now. But what I kind of hate more is that these characters get punished more than the actual perverted characters do. Right?
Yeah.
Like a character who will like fall over and then accidentally like see a fraction of a panty will have like everyone be like, you're scum, and start beating the shit out of him.
More than the actual.
And then a character who just goes up and gropes a lady, everyone's like, oh, you.
Okay, you know what? I will agree with you on that one for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of like perverted characters, sorry, I hate to bring up Mineta again. I know everyone hates him. I was wondering this like the other day, and you've just reminded me of it. So UA is like a prestigious school, and Class 1A is like the top of their year, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How the fuck is Mineta in that class?
Yeah, everyone always like questions that.
What did he? I just thought about that the other day. I was
He's got those
what did he do?
He just did really well on his entrance exam, I guess. His stickiness. Right, yeah, he should. That's the problem. Lots of people have this issue with the show because there's quite a lot of characters in Class 1B who are way better than characters in Class 1A.
Way better than 1A,
right?
Yeah.
There was actually a character in Class 1B who was supposed to be in Class 1A, but she only isn't because I forgot the name of the manga author, but the manga author finds her too difficult to draw. It's the girl with the vine hair.
Oh yeah, totally. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and a lot of people are annoyed about that in general. That seems to be just a common thing that people just argue about. But yeah, Mineta sucks.
Mineta's awful. Just the worst.
I think my next trope has nothing to do with any of that. It's just something that always bothered me. The lack of parents in anime.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it just seems to be like any shonen protagonist either has one dead parent or two dead parents or missing parents.
It's not even just shonen protagonists. It's just a lot of
just
characters
characters
in general.
That's true.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
It's like these high school students just living on their own. Like, where are your parents?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they're on vacation, or oh, they passed away. It's like, so you're in like 10th grade living on your own.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. 14-year-old fucking living on your own. It's just really lazy, I feel, and it's because they can't be bothered to write a good parent-child relationship.
Yeah.
And
it's just so weird though. It's like, who's funding your like schooling? Who's paying the bills? Like,
what's going on here?
Dinner? Like what? Who goes to the PTA meetings?
And sometimes it's like a lazy excuse to give a character motivation, where it's like, I'm only doing this because I'm trying to revenge my parent who died or whatever. There were some shows where they do it very well. And it's like a crux, like in Fullmetal Alchemist, for example, the fact that their mother died and they try to bring her back is like
because that's like totally that's the like,
it's so incorporated
story. So
but a lot of the time,
really
it's the missing parent is sort of even barely mentioned, or it's just not.
In a lot of cases, it's just not mentioned at all. Like it's weird that people should expect parents to not be in anime now.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because in Dungeons and Dragons, a lot of people who play characters in Dungeons and Dragons, they find a way to get rid of their parents as well, because they just want to. Like most players I play with, which is you two as well.
Yeah,
have characters that don't have parents.
Okay, but my character was old. All right,
your character. Yeah, that makes sense. But
thinking about it, all my characters
don't have parents.
Well, that's not true. Well, yeah. Zealous's parents are just in a faraway city under the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
That nobody's ever heard of. They're still alive.
What about what about Arlen's parents? They're straight up dead, right?
Arlen's parents are alive somewhere.
Oh yeah, he's an orphan, right? He was abandoned.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is so off
topic.
People
sorry. Hey, welcome to the Dungeons and Dragons cast.
Okay. Mark, what's the next on your list?
So I'm a big fan of underdog stories in general. But a lot of them come with a trope that just fucking drives me crazy, which is underdog characters that have an interesting setup in a story where they are weaker than everyone else, but they are suddenly bestowed with a great power.
Yeah. I mean, and it's related, but I kind of just hate the whole chosen one trope, the whole sort of...
Yeah.
This character... Yeah. Continue.
I was just going to say my examples, like the characters that drive me crazy, Deku, Asta, Naruto, Eren Yeager.
Don't go further into Eren Yeager because I need to. I'm still.
Have you finished the first season, right?
No. I'm really far behind. I'm currently watching the first
season.
I'm so sorry for anyone watching this. I'm a terrible anime fan.
That's fine.
This week I'm binging the whole thing.
Okay.
But no, I get you completely, and it kind of like invalidates their entire journey and their story when it feels like it was like predestined. Anyway, because if you think about it with Deku, with Naruto, that's the one that annoys me quite a lot, is because he was supposed to be this underdog orphan kid who gets a lot of power, yada yada, and he even has this like battle with Neji about this during that fight where it's like my future is not preordained, yada yada. How far are you in Naruto, Mark?
About 350 chapters. So shit, what's just happened? Fuck, the last thing I can remember is Granny Chiyo dying. So
okay. So you don't know who Naruto's like parents are?
I do, because it's been spoiled and you've rapped as Naruto 5 times and mentioned the Hokage in like half of them.
Okay. So the fact that his dad is the 4th Hokage is like it just kind of makes him genetically already better than anyone else. Because if you note that all of the Hokages are just related or trained by other Hokages anyway, and it just kind of sucks in general.
It's the 3 characters that I'll mention. I'll forget Eren Yeager. So Deku is. I know you've mentioned this before in the podcast, actually, that Deku is a really interesting setup for a story where a kid who wants to be a hero and applies to the hero school without a quirk.
Would be so
How does he fit in? How does he excel? That sounds awesome. Asta is a guy in a world surrounded by magic where people who can't use magic are looked down upon and they're the peasantry. How does he succeed in that world without being able to use magic? Oh, never mind. He's given an ability that cancels all magic.
See,
like the strongest magical ability. Deku was given the strongest quirk. Naruto has the strongest beast like living inside of him.
See, I can forgive Asta a tiny bit because I do like the aspect of him being without magic and having the ability to cancel magic, and it leads up to more like creative things. But because at least it's different. Because with Deku, it's like he doesn't have a quirk. Oh, he gets one. It's the same as everyone else. And Naruto is he's kind of this underdog. Oh no, he just has the same ninja abilities or more than everyone else.
Well, the thing about it is, these aren't characters or stories that I hate. I love Asta's story as the guy who has such a different magical ability than everyone that he kind of takes him by surprise and has to think tactically about stuff. Yeah. Even though he's kind of an idiot. Like Deku's ability, like being too powerful for his body, and he has to learn to control it and stuff like that. It's all still really cool and interesting.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm so sick of the trope because it doesn't let me see
like
the story.
Own growth.
I want to see that other story. What if they didn't get that power?
And actually, as much as I knock Goku, at least Goku was never like the chosen one, right? He just was the only Saiyan who really, there's not many other Saiyans to compare him to because they're all dead. But at least he's just a guy. He's just the Saiyan guy.
And I will say, I fucking love Goku. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go on a rant about it. I just want to mention, I know you guys were bashing him real bad in the like shonen protagonist episode. I really like Goku. He has such an excellent story, in my opinion. But yeah,
I'm sorry.
I know he's a shitty
bashing
dad.
him.
But yeah, underdog characters being bestowed great power.
Yeah,
that's a trope that annoys me.
Cover your ears for a second, Mark. I'm just going to talk a tiny bit about Naruto, a tiny bit more about the Neji predestined thing.
Okay. I'll
deafen yourself, and I'll message you when to undeafen.
Okay, sure. Can you even do that?
Yes, right-click on your profile and press deafen.
Deafen. Okay, bye.
Okay, so you know how it ends up that Naruto is the reincarnation of those 2 guys of like the original. The so the whole thing, the whole ideological clash that he had with Neji in the beginning, where he said that he could form his own path, is bullshit because the fact that he was supposed to be the chosen one, the child of prophecy, and everything was predestined from the beginning, right? Because he's the reincarnation of that guy, right? Which it just hates. It invalidates his entire journey, and it really pisses me off. Yep. Okay.
Hey, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
I got very angry.
Okay. Oh, okay. When you edit this episode, you'll need to remove the part of my vocal from when I was deafened because I was just sat humming to myself.
Okay. So, here's a trope I don't like. Characters getting stronger by doing like a 3-day training montage.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so that's actually similar to my next trope, which is just power scaling.
Yeah.
Like I hate bad power scaling. Like characters just having to like go to extreme lengths to like defeat an enemy. It just doesn't make sense.
I like Hunter x Hunter, where when characters are getting Gon is not that strong at the beginning of Hunter x Hunter, and I'm saying this with little spoilers as possible, Mark. But the characters in that show, when they improve their abilities, you can see their actual growth and the bits that they are learning and picking up on. And it's so well done and crafted. And that sort of training throughout the show is so much better than like, and I know people like Bleach. In my opinion, Bleach, where Ichigo just goes to a place and trains for 3 days and now he can suddenly beat someone, right? It's just so much more interesting the way Hunter x Hunter does it over something like Bleach.
Yeah.
It's just
totally.
that.
I'm trying to think of Dragon Ball. As much as I fucking love Dragon Ball, it has
the hyperbolic time chamber.
Hate it. Yeah, that's like, it sucks that they introduced that because it just gives them a chance to do every arc after its introduction. They just go there, and they get stronger. It's like, I can now master Super Saiyan 3. It's like, cool.
At least they
was the struggle?
Like it was destroyed after Dragon Ball Z, right? So like, I don't know if they remade one in Super, but
in Super they have like a secondary cop out, I guess, which is they can just go to train with Beerus now. And that's like a secondary one. But even before the hyperbolic time chamber, there was stuff in the original Dragon Ball where Goku was reaching his upper limits as like a martial artist, and he was finally getting kind of defeated. It was the first time we'd seen him like struggle against an opponent because he's always been naturally much more powerful. So the solution to this, instead of like clever tactics, is if you climb to the top of this tower, you can drink a potion that will make you stronger.
Yep. Yeah. Now, I mean, Dragon Ball has a lot of that stuff.
To be fair, there is a lot of like struggle and growth involved in that process. Like the actual climbing is like a big arc in of itself, and like he has a trial with, I can't remember the name of the cat at the top of the tower, but either. He has a trial with his cat at the top before he's allowed to even drink it.
Yeah, Yajirobe's boyfriend, exactly.
Yajirobe's sugar daddy.
Bean daddy. Yajirobe's Bean daddy.
Bean daddy, no.
Hey, Bean daddy.
No, he doesn't sound like that. No,
Yajirobe. Hey, Bean
Is
daddy.
that Yajirobe's voice?
Lay one on me. Yeah, I love these beans. Bean daddy, give me more.
No.
Worst tropes in anime. Why do they keep including bean daddies in every show? I'm watching My Hero Academia, and then Deku's like, "So I gotta visit my friend the Bean Daddy." And he goes to and he's like, "Hey, it's me, Bean Daddy. Hey, Deku, nice of you to drop by again."
Oh my god!
Why do they keep including it? I'm really confused. Sorry, you were saying.
So that's getting edited out, right?
No. The whole rest of the podcast getting edited out. It's just that bit. It's just we title this Bean Daddy. Rustage episode 5.
The best Bean Daddies in shonen anime.
Oh gosh. Do you know? What's his name from Bleach is a Bean Daddy as well. The one that gives them Ichigo the candy that lets him go out of his body. Okay. Fuck. Evan, give us another trope.
Transfer students. I hate transfer students. Why are transfer students
Evan,
the
that's
most
just because you're
interesting?
racist.
What? No! What? No!
Evan's
not
here
true.
like, damn, I hate transfer students. I had this Swedish boy in my class, and I was like, fuck off.
Oh my god, dude.
No!
Evan, chill.
Evan, chill out, dude.
No, just why are transfer students the most interesting people? Like, that doesn't make sense.
Oh, you're like, I love transfer students. They're just the most interesting people now.
No. I hate the fact that they make them out to be like special people. Like every single time there's a transfer student, that transfer student.
It's always, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's always like a cheap tactic of getting like a villain, sometimes a villain into the story. It's like Bakura in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, he was just, oh, this is the transfer student, Bakura.
Yeah.
Bakura's like, ha ha ha. But
sometimes it's either like the transfer student's either the main character or like a friend of the main character. It's like, oh, I've transferred, and they start working together and stuff. It's so bad.
I think the problem with transfer students is that the shows never have a transfer student that isn't special. Whenever a student gets transferred, it's always this character is very important and has some sort of super ability or yada, yada, yada. It's never just... Except for, there is a transfer student in My Hero Academia that's done well, which is, you wouldn't even know in class 1B. Oh, is she in the anime yet? So minor. The horse girl? The American
Never
one?
heard of her. Nope.
Okay, never mind. It's not even... it's just a character. Like, she doesn't do anything. She's just there. She just joins Class 1B from America. And I think that's a good transfer student because she's just there, right?
Sweet.
But yeah, there's a lot of... I know... Not a lot of the anime I've seen, but I know of anime that have that trope of, like, really powerful transfer students and stuff.
Like, I just want a transfer student that's just a normal person, right? Like, they transfer and, like, they do nothing.
You'll be lucky because that's horse girl.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. I like horses.
Yeah? She looks like a horse a little bit, but not really. Pony girl, that's her name.
I don't like that.
No. She doesn't look like a horse, really.
Does she just look like Tom Scar wearing a horse mask?
No, she isn't. No, she's in the anime. She's in the anime. This is an anime clip, so she must be in the anime. This is what she looks like.
Oh, I've seen her.
Yeah. I know she doesn't look much like a pony, but she has hooves. She is a pony.
Oh, yeah. That's disappointing.
What? Here she is. Look at her hooves.
I was kind of hoping she would have looked like Sophie Dare with the horse mask.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, she's American. And she's a...
Is she from the ranch?
Yeah. Woo! Yeah, I think so. Birthplace, United States.
Horses on the ranch.
And I'm the racist one? Okay.
Yeah,
America is not a race.
America is not a real place either. Okay.
Oh, you're right.
Mark, what's your next trope?
Speaking of high school, high school / child prodigies.
Yes. Like
high school students being way fucking better at anything than they should be.
Than the adults. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, the reason why that exists is because most anime fans are like children and teenagers, and they want a character that's better than the adults that they hate because they're a child or teenager.
Yes.
And they
want like the plot of Danganronpa.
Yeah. Mark, you've not played Danganronpa, but
I haven't.
One of the key things is that the characters in that are in a special school, and they're all the best at that one thing that they are good at. So they're like called the ultimate programmer. This character's the best programmer in the world, but they're all children, all teenagers.
Yeah, I feel like
but it kind of
sounds like a premise I would hit.
No. But they do it in a way that kind of makes fun of that as a concept. Like they're really like the archetypes of those themselves in that way, right?
Yeah. So the examples I was gonna bring up of this is like, I'll start with like something simple. Death Note.
Yeah.
Light Yagami, like, Elle makes sense. He's a child genius who was like brought to a special institution and raised like separately, specifically to be an amazing detective. So yes, he has a mind specifically crafted for that. Why is Light so smart?
Yeah. He kind of had to be just for the story to work, unfortunately. And as good as Death Note is, and as good as Light and Elle and everyone is in that, it is a good point where it just seems... Dr. Stone... Wait, hold up.
I was about to bring up Dr. Stone because here's the thing about Senku in Dr. Stone.
I wasn't even thinking about Senku.
He is a genius who's like, oh, you weren't good, because I wasn't. I was just about to say, Senku does not fall into this trope because he... Not only is he, like, not amazing and, like, brilliant, he just has a very serious interest in something, so he knows a lot about it, and he gets other people to help him and make stuff, and it's done really well, and I love it.
He's, like, interested in science, and that's it. Like,
the antagonist?
That's what I was going to say. This guy is like, he's not even human. How is he a high school kid? Like, it feels like it's supposed to be like a semi-realistic setting. And Ree and Mark watched the first 3 episodes together. And the moment this fucking guy comes out and like, just
his introduction is him like killing 2 lions with his bare hands.
And we're like, what?
Yeah, so the antagonist of Dr. Stone, he's more like a character from Danganronpa. Where he's like just really good at that one thing.
Yeah. He does remind me of a Danganronpa character, but not like ironic like the Danganronpa characters are.
No.
His nickname in the show is the strongest primate high schooler.
Yeah.
Ultimate primate.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Okay.
The one other example I was going to give of that is Assassination Classroom, which I love Assassination Classroom. But there's a bit too much of, like, Karma is the obvious example of, like, how is he this good at combat and shit. Yeah. He's, like, 14 years old. Like, they all have their training montages and they get taught by Koro-sensei and you see their grades improving, but then it gets, like, massively, like, stupidly overskilled when suddenly it's like, oh, the girl that's a bit interested in chemistry suddenly makes, like, these really serious, non-traceable poisons to tip her arrows in. It's like, what? Where did that come from?
There's like gaps that you're sort of it assumes that you will fill in those gaps yourself. Like, oh, she must have
totally.
Spent all
but
that time.
my main issue is Assassination Classroom is the entire manga takes place over less than a year. It takes place over 8 months.
Yeah.
How did all of these kids become so specialized?
And actually, even at the end, when you sort of learn everything about Koro-sensei, you learn that Koro-sensei, he's really strong and he's good at teaching, but he's not that knowledgeable at things like chemistry, right? Because
no, he's not.
So he didn't teach her how to make this untraceable poison venom thing, right?
No, and what's more interesting is they learn these things and get incredible with things like chemistry and explosives and like the kid who's really great at like technology and makes a drone. That's the one that pisses me off the most because it's like, no fucking way. Shut up. Just buy one from fucking Amazon and just put that in the manga. That's fine. I don't care. He didn't invent a combat drone and like make it from scrap metal.
Yeah, and you get the
whatever. It's just.
I know that a lot of people, because this is a thing that we've sort of brought up multiple times, sort of incidentally, is a lot of people will get annoyed at us that we are essentially complaining that anime isn't realistic, right? Quite a lot of
people complained about that.
Huh?
Have people actually complained about that?
People complained about that in the JoJo one, yeah.
Oh wow! I'm sorry to disappoint you guys.
People will complain about that one for this. Because quite a lot of our points for why we don't like these tropes is because they're not realistic enough.
That's I would argue against that. And in that, what I'm saying is like, I enjoy the fantasy elements of anime with like the alien that can blow up the earth coming in and teaching the students. Cool. But the students are supposed to be rooted as actual human beings that we can relate to. Those are the anchor in the story. Why are those like? You know,
and I get that. And it's the same with, like, that's what my problem with the Dr. Stone one is because they're supposed to be, like, humans. It's supposed to be a human story. And that's the problem with Light is that, it's supposed to be, those settings are rooted in realism. We wouldn't have the same complaint if, like, fucking Naruto, or, like, a Naruto character suddenly got amazing at fucking making explosives or whatever.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Because a different setting.
Like, if Shikamaru could fucking make explosives, we'd be like, yeah, that's what Shikamaru does. He's got 200 IQ.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I have an argument for Light, and it's the fact that, like, his dad is a detective, and, like...
But he's smarter than his dad. You would think he would be as smart as his dad is if that was the case. But he's way smarter than his dad.
Oh, you know what? That's fair.
Okay. Stupid protagonists. That's the trope.
Stupid protagonist. Okay, yeah.
There's just a lot of protagonists that are just dummy. They're stupid boys, and they're like good-hearted, but they're like they're kind of intelligent, maybe only in battle. It is part of the reason why I like Deku, is because he doesn't really fall into this. But it's
because he's
characters
smart.
like
Asta,
Naruto.
He's like really
Goku.
smart in combat.
Oh yeah, Naruto's like...
I'm gonna break your heart, but Luffy.
No, I was about to say Luffy. Luffy too.
What annoys me with Naruto is that he was played up to be such a dunce and like someone who couldn't master anything, and he was like, oh, he can't do this, can't do that. But then suddenly, the second it turns to combat, he's like a fucking tactical genius.
That seems to be the case with all of them.
Plants his shadow doppelgangers like under the ground and two in the tree, so that when he like does his third bluff in the fight, they can... It's like, what? Where did this come from?
That's the problem with, like, I have with these stupid protagonists, is because it's not consistent. Because they're stupid, but then they're just really good at, like, being really tactical in their fighting. And on a case-by-case basis, like, these characters, when I look at them individually and them being stupid, it doesn't make me dislike the character more. My problem is that, as a trope, it seems to be that tons of shonen protagonists are just dumb. They're just, the default is, like, we got to make this character dumb.
They're just trying to make them more relatable, right?
Yeah, because the people who watch shonen anime are dumb.
No, you can't say that.
I watch shonen anime and I'm dummy.
Oh, okay.
Dummy thick.
Yeah, that's a quick one.
Speaking of protagonists, just while we're on the top, generic protagonists.
Oh,
boys that really have nothing going for them.
Yeah, like you get these in like harem anime and stuff, especially.
Yeah, I'm just talking from a shonen perspective because that's all I know, but like, please do chip in for this, because the three examples that really stuck out to me were Eren Yeager, and I won't go into it because obviously you haven't watched it, Kirito, and Deku. Okay, in terms of their personalities, Kirito, Deku, and Eren Yeager are fucking white bread, blank canvas.
Shwabadi's
They have
canceled.
almost nothing going for them, dude. Like, Deku is the best of them because he does have like little personality quirks that stick out every so often. But when you like really boil down what he does in the show and his dialogue and his personality and his inner monologue, it's just a lot of, I need to be the hero. I'm not strong enough yet.
I get that,
but I will be. And it's like, fuck me, I don't. So you mean
care. Like generic motivations for them?
Generic in like, there's very little that stands out about them. Their motivation, their personality, the way they act or speak or whatever.
I would say
there's just so many of them.
I can't comment on Eren, but I know people who have read the manga who say that Eren is their favorite shonen protagonist after reading the manga, and I don't know because I am.
What? Okay. That's because of like the end of the manga or where it is now. In the beginning, he's definitely absolutely generic.
But that's what I mean, right? Yeah, and from what I've seen so far, Eren is very generic. And like you could throw in characters like Rin from Blue Exorcist in there, and I get that, and but that's kind of, unfortunately, that's just how it be sometimes.
It is. Characters. There are such good examples of characters with like protagonists that have very, very clearly defined personalities, like fucking like Tanjiro.
Yes.
He's not generic. He's such a good... Everyone loves him because he has such a very clearly defined personality. He's not generic at all.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
Like Mob from Mob Psycho.
Yes.
yes, I get you. But
there's so many good protagonists, so why do they keep coming out as generic?
On that topic of genericism, because obviously you have the bland, boring characters in like harem anime, because obviously the focus is more on the girl characters, but they could at least make the main dude that all of the girls are interested in, like actually someone they would be interested in, and not just like a brown-haired normie kid. It's like, but the other thing is like just characters that are just too perfect, like Kirito, or I guess like Karma as well, or just like the idea that you have to make your protagonist someone who's just incredible at everything, because that makes people think they're cool by relating to that character. Evan.
Speaking of relatable, sibling romance.
I was about to say this. My next trope was this is what I've written on my notes. Incest. Are you kidding me? Why? How many fucking anime shows? It's not even like hinted incest. They have straight up actual incest in these fucking shows. I'm not even talking like hentai. I'm talking like actual fucking anime shows where there's incest, right? Sword Art Online has it, for Christ's sake, and that's a relatively popular one. But then you have entire shows that are based around the premise of incest. What is wrong with these
based on incest?
People? It's disgusting. Are you kidding me? Why is it such a popular thing that it is a trope? How is incest a trope now? Right?
So what I think it is, right, is that I feel like it comes from the adult films, and I guess artists in Japan are like, oh, a lot of people like that sort of adult film stuff. Let's add it to anime.
Holy shit. It's crazy. It's so crazy. And I don't know what more I could say on it except for I hate it. But I also there are people who are fans of these shows legitimately who are like it's fine. Incest, wincest.
Yeah,
what?
No, me as a person, I can't really get through shows that have like the whole incest thing, because I have two sisters and I'm like, this is weird. I can't watch this. But like the shows that I can watch are the ones where they're like stepbrother and stepsister. I'm like, okay, you know what? Fine, whatever.
Evan's out here casually defending incest. That's fine.
No, I'm not. No.
Write that in the show description.
This episode, Evan casually defends incest.
Yeah, that's just part of like a bigger issue I have with anime, is that like weird, like how do I say the word? Fetishization?
Yeah.
Fetish.
You're doing great, Mark.
There you go. Sorry. Fetishization just like slips into regular, what you would just call fucking like normal anime constantly. And it's one of the biggest, like, it's the cause of like the pervert characters we were talking about earlier. Yeah. And all the fan service and shit. And the incest and the
sexualized minors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Things like that.
To pile on top of that, there's also the whole like it's usually incest with an age gap. Whereas like it's like an older brother and it's like his like 6-year-old sister. And it's
what are we
like,
doing on the bed, Oni-chan?
Yeah, no, it's weird. Japan, why?
It just sucks. Why do they do this?
Have we got any non-sex ones?
Okay. Here's just a trope. I'm kind of just sick of just badly written tsunderes. Just kind of piss me off. I don't know.
Yeah.
They just sort of make a character a tsundere, and when a character's personality, their only personality trait is that they are a tsundere. That's what annoys me, because there's well written like tsundere-esque characters in anime, but when it's like this entire character's trope is that they are tsundere, then it's just like lazy, and I just hate it. I guess same with yandere as well. Like any of these.
I was about to say, I just don't like the personality types of tsundere and yandere in Lost Anime.
I feel like in every episode we've stated how much we hate yanderes.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Sabihyuga.
Do you guys have any more tropes? Because we can wrap it up soon.
I do have one. Okay. I shouldn't take very long to talk about. Is like the demon form / dark side.
Oh yes,
of a character.
Oh, there's so many characters that just have like, this is my evil form.
Yeah, seriously.
I can't stop it as it takes control of my body. Protagonist
like Meliodas is the obvious one,
but like not just Meliodas. You've got like Ichigo as well.
Yeah.
And you also have like characters that aren't main characters that have that sort of thing as well. I just feel like it's just overdone.
Yeah, it's not a bad plot point. It's just that it's so present in anime that it's something
that exists in like Power Rangers, right? It's like that level.
Yeah, it's like it's so like goofy and it feels so juvenile. I don't know. But there's examples of like good times when that happens. I feel like Naruto has like, you know, like the
Nine-Tails thing,
yeah. I'm only like halfway through, but when the Nine-Tails like takes over kind of thing, his like demon form, his Nine-Tails form, that's like cool as shit. That's awesome.
I do, yeah.
What are you like through the first part of Naruto or Shippuden?
I'm into Shippuden.
He's just right at Granny Chiyo's death after he
okay,
resurrects
so
Gaara.
You've already.
Actually, I'm a little bit after that. I'm at the point where
Orochimaru fight where.
Yes. Where he hulks out and
goes full.
All I wanted to say was the Four Tails is the best form. Just saying.
Yeah, that's the part that he's at.
Yeah. The other example of this, I'm not sure if it even fits in this trope, but is Mob Psycho. When Mob hits 100%.
No, it does not fit into that.
It makes me think of it because it's like it's something he can't control that slowly builds up, and then he loses control as his like power increases exponentially. That totally fits the trope, right?
Well,
but at the same time, it's so well done in the show because it's such a central part of the show.
Yeah.
That it's an example of that.
I'm giving it
done right. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just giving it as a good example.
It's not inherently bad. It's just a lot of people just use it lazily. As a way of giving their characters. I don't like it when they use it as a way of giving their characters more depth instead of actually giving them character, if that makes sense, right? It's like, this character is too perfect, so let's give them this evil side that they can't control, instead of giving them actual character flaws.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Anyway, do you guys have any other important ones? You guys want to?
Bread in mouth bad. Thank you guys for watching. I'm kidding.
I hate the way these fucking anime girls eat their foods like, right? It's
how dare you run with bread in your mouth?
How dare fuck it. I hate the little noises that they make when they're just sitting. Who goes? Right? Like they're just looking at each other. Why are they making noises? Who does that? Okay, yeah, that's it. Thank you everyone for watching. This has been our worst anime tropes. I've been here with Evan, my editor, my friend, and I couldn't think of a third thing that you were.
What? I'm just your editor and your friend. Well, okay, you know, that's fine.
Go check him out, Evanito. He does videos sometimes. And
sometimes, okay.
And also our friend, our guest, our honored guest, Shwabadi, Mark Shwabadi.
Mark Shwabadi Nichols.
Go check him out at youtube.com/Shwabadi and go look.
That's not.
Is it not?
I wish that was my URL. No.
Sorry. YouTube.com/MLP Shwabadi. My bad. Go check him out and listen to his music because it's really good. And also listen to his new album. And yeah, I was gonna say send him furry porn.
Don't be a pervert.
Remember, kids, if anime sucks, go read a book. Okay, goodbye.